So before we start this video, I want you to go down into the description, subscribe to the FPL Wildcats, and join us Thursday night for our Halloween special. What's up guys, and welcome to the FPL preview here on the FPL Today YouTube channel. Hope you're having a great Thursday, and hopefully we're about to see a game week where we get plenty of green arrows and at least some excitement and some points, because let's be honest, last game week was a bit of a letdown unless you own Bamford, Ings or someone of that like, and then of course Harry Kane and Son. But today we go over a few topics that have been requested by some of my followers on Twitter, so do go and follow me on Twitter if you want to get involved with the FPL preview, and then we will also go over the fixtures and captaincy options before game week 7. So we start off with a question from Sinister Me, and he says, can Everton keep up their starting form, or this loss and many suspensions injuries are a worry for DCL and James owners? So to answer this question, first of all I want to give my opinion, which is it's one game that they've managed to not do that well in as far as assets for FPL have gone. So I think it's a bit of a knee-jerk to be worrying about Everton players already. We haven't quite got an update on Rodriguez yet. Digne looks like he's had his suspension lowered down to only one game, and Richarlison isn't too far away from coming back as well. However, what I will say is the options they have to replace those players aren't of the same quality as the players that potentially could be missing, so that is a bit of a concern. If we have a look at Everton's stats so far this season, they are a decent side, although their attacking numbers have tailed off a little bit since the start of the season. They're 10th for shots on goal, 6th for shots on target, 9th for shots inside the box, and 3rd for big chances. So big chances, very important thing to have if your stats aren't up to par elsewhere. Goals, they've managed to score 16, which puts them 3rd. They've had an XG of 10.64, which also puts them 4th. And bonus points, they've managed to get 25, which puts them joint 1st. However, total points scored for FPL is only 271, which puts them 10th. So, season so far, Everton's stats aren't too bad. However, if we look at their performance against Southampton, and let's be fair to them, Southampton are a decent side, especially when they're fully fit and firing on all cylinders. So let's take this with a pinch of salt, because I think there's certain sides out there that are good teams and can do a job against most of the teams in the division, and I put Southampton in that list. Everton's game week 6 stats aren't too great. For game week 6, they had 6 shots on goal, which put them 15th, 2 on target, which put them 15th, inside the box 3, which put them 14th, and big chances they had 0, which put them joint 12th. Goals, they scored none, of course, with an XG of 0.4, which was 18th worst in the league for that game week, and no bonus points scored, of course, and total points was only 13, which put them last in the league for points scored by their players. The thing is, I think Everton can still keep their starting form, because unless Rodriguez has a very long-term injury, a lot of the players that are featured on the graphic that you've just seen are going to be back soon, and I think that team is a well-oiled machine when they have their first starting 11. So right now I'm happy to stick with my Everton assets, and I think you should too. Another side that I think is worth looking at after a bad game week 6 is also Aston Villa, and we can compare Aston Villa's stats. Of course, they lost to Leeds 3-0, to Everton's stats, because you have players in similar price ranges, although Everton's are a little bit more expensive. That could be good options for our FPL side. So if we look at the Aston Villa side for game week 6, we have them taking 12 shots in total with 4 on target, putting them 11th and 6th for those two stats. We also have inside the box 7 shots, putting them 9th. And big chances was 3, putting them 3rd. So their actual attacking underlying stats weren't bad against Leeds despite the 3-0 defeat. We can also see that in the XG at 1.66, putting them 4th. So overall, Aston Villa didn't do too bad against Leeds, much better than Everton did against Southampton. As far as the whole season, stats are pretty similar to Everton. However, they're slightly lower for goals and XG, putting them 6th for goals with 12 and 7th for XG at 9.20, but also 14 big chances, putting them 4th in the league. So I think what we're seeing here is one bad performance in game week 6, when a lot of us were potentially relying on Everton and Aston Villa assets, has made us start to knee-jerk away from them, and I think this season a lot of it is about patience. So I'd have patience with both Everton and Aston Villa assets. We then have FPL Newt, who's a long-time supporter of the channel, so thank you for the question. Asking, is it time to bring in West Ham assets or do we wait until game week 8? Many people have 2 free transfers and don't know how to spend them. Do we jump in early? Now, to be honest, on Fan Team, I've already jumped on Antonio, which is a bit of a worry now, considering he does have that injury scare. However, I think West Ham assets could be very important to us in the up-and-coming game weeks. Now, West Ham have shown they can get a job done against the big side. All of these stats you see on screen have come in a period where they've played the likes of Wolves, Leicester, Man City and Tottenham Hotspurs. So, the fact that they've managed to get 77 shots on goal, which puts them 6th, inside the box 54 shots, which puts them 4th, and big chances 10, which puts them 9th, with 12 goals scored putting them 6th, and an XG of 8.02, which puts them 12th. I think that puts them in really good stead. The issue is, of course, right now, looking at the players you can pick from, apart from Kufau, who I've not added to this graphic because he hasn't had as much game time, but does also look like a great option, you're seeing a lot of 25% in the goal involvement. Potentially the goals are going to be spread about, and also I think if Antonio is injured, I'm very concerned at how West Ham will play without him. I think he's a very important figure in the whole system at West Ham. I don't think Harlow really offers the same kind of mobility as a forward, which makes me worry about their attacking output. So hopefully Antonio does get past fit, because then I will definitely be jumping on some West Ham options. However, there is of course a new signing from Brentford. I'm not going to try and say his name right now because I haven't got it written in front of me and I probably will butcher it, but he could affect the game time of the likes of Bowen and Fornals as well. So I'm definitely keeping an eye on West Ham assets. I probably wouldn't jump in this game week though. And then finally, we're going to look at the fixtures and captaincy options. Now, fixtures that stand out to me, really looking towards the Man City game to see if we can have a return to goal-scoring ways by the Manchester City boys. Of course, Kevin De Bruyne is back and Sergio Aguero is fit, and Sterling hopefully will find his goal-scoring form. I think right now they've been playing a bit beneath themselves, but I definitely could see that turning around, and the fixtures will help support hopefully their return to goal-scoring ways. Right now I don't have any City options, so I'll be watching that game very closely just in case. I think it's also a test for the West Ham boys at a stadium that Moyes doesn't have a good record at. I think Liverpool should score at least 2 or 3 in this game, despite West Ham's good defensive record. If West Ham manage to impress in this game, I think it's definitely time to jump on though. Southampton back to form and may cause Aston Villa the same headache that they did against Everton. And Aston Villa kind of need a win after that 3-0 defeat to Leeds, and I think Southampton unfortunately aren't the best opponents for that. Everton I expect to bounce back if their key players are fit against Newcastle, so that will be something we have to keep an eye on the press conferences for. Spurs versus Brighton seems a game that is perfect for the likes of Kane and Son. And also, will Leeds continue their attacking form against Leicester City with their different tactic that seems to be something the other Premier League clubs are struggling to get to grips with? And then on to captaincy, and I think the main captaincy options are Salah, Son and Kane, with Salah facing West Ham at home and Spurs facing Brighton at home. Looking at the opposition for the likes of Salah, Son and Kane, Brighton have conceded less shots on target and shots inside the box than West Ham. However, West Ham have conceded less big chances than Brighton and have a slightly better expected goals conceded. Brighton are also more likely not to sit deep against Spurs compared to what West Ham might do against Liverpool, and that makes me favour slightly Son or Kane for this fixture. I think Son could definitely find some space behind that Brighton defence. Newcastle and Sheffield United's defences could also be targeted this game week with Everton and Man City assets, depending on the team news we hear there and if Man City hit form. But if you're asking me who I'm probably going to go for, it is between Salah, Son and Kane, and right now I'm leaning towards Son over Salah and Kane, just because I think he could really benefit against a Brighton side. So that's it for this video, guys. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It really helps the channel out and it's greatly appreciated. Also, check out the FPL Wildcats for our Halloween special tonight. Hope to see you there and hope you will get involved with your questions. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for joining me in this preparation for Game Week 7. I've been J&O, this has been FPL Today, and remember, it's all about the game.